bizarre murder case with an even stranger defense. A man with a criminal past admits killing a woman and then stuffing her body in a suitcase. Surveillance video shows him rolling that suitcase down the streets in New York City's Harlem. Now he says he did it. He admits he killed her, but he claims she attacked him first. Attorney Joey Jackson is a former prosecutor. Chip Merlin is a defense attorney. Thank you both for joining us.
Pleasure.
Hassan Malik was already on probation. He admits choking Betty Williams with a cord, but he says she put it around his neck first and hit him with a frying pan. Prosecutors say he had no visible injuries, and in fact, police say the woman was hit with a blunt object in the head. So, Chip, will this self-defense claim fly?
Well, it might be the only defense he has. Certainly the body in the suitcase is not going to help, and the fact that he already spoke to the authorities and tried to explain that this was in self-defense, kind of the only thing he's got to go on right now is that very important value that we all have and that we all have a right to protect ourselves. It's not uncommon in situations like this where prostitutes are taking money that a fight escalates, and neighbors were talking about a brawl that went on for 45 minutes. This is his only defense he's got.
Joey, Malik told police that he returned to his apartment to find the woman dead, and as Chip mentioned, there is evidence that she was there as a prostitute and all this, and so they struggled. He choked her till she was unresponsive, and then he left. Does that really sound right?
It certainly does not. Listen, he has multiple reasons. The first thing is this. The Manhattan DA's office, it's a tremendous office, tremendous resources. Don't say that because I come from there, but the fact is that they are very well heeled. They mentor their attorneys, and a defense attorney better come prepared to play. The second issue is that Manhattan jurors are more conservative than you may think. They're jurors not only that are native New Yorkers, but they're from throughout the country. The last problem you have here is problematic on the facts. Listen, the force used in any self-defense claim has to be proportionate to the threat posed. If somebody takes a pan, not that there's any visible injuries of anything, so we can only think that it's a made-up story, which it'll be deemed to be, but any force you use has to be proportionate, and strangling someone with a cord is simply unreasonable. And then it defies logic and common sense that a person who thinks they're innocent would stuff a body in a suitcase and roll it down the street and leave it there. That's what we call in law consciousness of guilt. I think his defense is going nowhere very fast.
Chip, as you mentioned, the suitcase thing obviously troublesome. I mean, the obvious question is, why wouldn't you call police if this was self-defense?
And that's exactly what the prosecution is going to try to say. The defense in this case is going to try to keep that suitcase rolling completely out of there because it is the potential harm just far outweighs any reasonable inference that what happened during that fight, because everybody knows there was a huge fight, and that's what the defense has to focus on, is that this was a brawl, a fight, and the man was fighting for his life during that time and took reasonable precaution to protect himself. It has nothing to do with what happened afterwards.
Oh, I beg to differ, Chip. I mean, the fact is that this is continuing course of conduct that goes to consciousness of guilt, and strangling someone, is that reasonable? Absolutely not.
All right, Joey Jackson got the last word. Joey
Sorry,
Jackson, Chip Merlin, thank you both for joining us.
It's a pleasure.